enough. Good enough. Well, welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. Hey, Marcus the Great, thank you for joining me. I am the holder of the continuous ball game of the Hero Twins. This is the Chocolate Mountain Show again. It all starts with a gentle sadness. I am 8 Wind is timeless. I am your galactic daddy-o from my terrace pyramid galactic patio, coming to you from deep inside of the real universe, coming to bring the good times. You have arrived because I am here. A lot of energy going on tonight, I see. And for a non-football Sunday, people getting ready to put all the energy into next Sunday. It's like the pre-Sunday. And I didn't watch it, the Pro Bowl today. There's nothing about that event that is inspiring anymore. Hey, CJ. Oh, before we get started though, Sam Adams, Winter Ale. I'm cowboying tonight, no glass. It has orange peel, cinnamon, and ginger. It's very refreshing. Hey, read my soul. Very refreshing. So pop them if you got them. Smoke them if you want them. I blow big stacks. And now wearing the Virgin tonight, I'll hold the Virgin. I lost this one for a couple weeks and had to go do some other work. So, and in some ways, this is like the trident. I mean, it can also be used as that kind of energy. But a deeper meaning also is motion. You know, you see this thing is creating motion. Uh, Even the way it's made like this, there are so many different ways this can be used because it creates a lot of angles. And when you see angles kind of like this, there's a lot of ways that you can manipulate this. So, but this is just something I was trying to explain to a friend. This is only I think this is the 6 prong. The more powerful one is the 8 prong, more expensive too. One just slightly bigger than this is 400. And this one was only for about 20, 30 bucks. So it's hard to make that 100 step for something that, and I wear the other one more than I use this one. And I do have the brass one. And I'll be honest, the brass one has picked up more in price. I should have brought it over here. So I'm not wearing it tonight, but it's near me. And I'll bring out what I carry, my personal shingite, my personal royal shingite. I have all the blocks up here, a lot of black crystals, very protective. And then I am in I have kind of put the computer in a kind of vortex for my protection. T Gaming, hello. Hey, Brisk Clown, Dread Headlocks. Same to you. Did Winter Storm Oceana impact y'all up there? I'm in Pittsburgh. We getting around a few feet of snow. It missed us. We were supposed to get an ice storm Friday, and it clearly missed us. We got nothing. I mean, let me see if they took. Yeah, it was supposed to go off this morning, but we had a winter storm warning for since Friday when I was doing the show Friday. They gave us a winter storm warning. And I was expecting, a lot of snow Saturday morning. We got nothing. And it's 28 degrees. So yeah, they took the winter storm warning off. Yeah, I think it went off 6 a.m. this morning. So no, we didn't get nothing. I was noticing people in Michigan was getting hit with snow too. Yeah, it's mild. Matter of fact, at one point I had turned my heat off. It got so mild. It was in the 30s. And so I had turned the heat off. And I got electric heat, which is a very dry heat. But a little healthier for you than gas heat in some ways. But I had turned my heat off. Kind of this sweatshirt, I'm kind of like I should have kept it off, kept the heat off. But for the plants, I keep it on. So no, we didn't hardly get anything. CJ said Miss Cleveland as well. We were under a winter storm watch too. Yeah. See, it missed us. one of my and people in Wisconsin got snow. Okay. Hey, what's up, Gray? Thank you for joining. I haven't seen snow since I was doing OTR trucking. Interesting. Yeah, we got snow everywhere, but we didn't get hit with this storm that they predicted Friday. They predicted an ice storm. That's what they was predicting. It was supposed to be quite ugly, but nothing. Warm. Yeah, the weather's been very mild. I mean, for what did they say? They said that this was the first winter in 15 years. No, let me take this back. They said this was the first January in 15 years we didn't have a minus. So it never got minus up here. I think the coldest it's gotten like 5 above. Now, of course, the wind chill, but where the temperature and not the wind chill was zero. It never got zero. So, and we're into the first. So, yeah. They're pushing the 2 mask thing more and more. I've noticed. I haven't seen snow. Gray, where? They're not pushing them up here. Matter of fact, I've been looking at ads and less mask. Like now they're showing the clear mask with the filters, like the air pockets and the filters. So the masks seem to be getting streamlined in some way. It seems like a lot of things I'm seeing is the push to the clear mask. So instead of the double cover your face, I want to see the bottom of your face. Think they shaming Kyrie for these net losses. I don't know. If it was just him. I think really the one that's going to be shamed is Harding. Remember, Harding has terrible. He leads the league in scoring. He's the MVP, but he has terrible playoff appearances, and so he's the one that's going to take the brunt of it. They're going to, if they don't win the finals, and remember, they're probably going to do them the same way they did Kawhi and George. And then again, they're going to blame it on Harding and say, he's a cancer, and don't be surprised he move again. He thought that moving was going to solve all his problems, but you're going to see that he was the problem. So I'm not going to disagree with you, but I'm saying I think when it comes down to the end of the season or in the playoffs, that is who they're going to put the shame on, is Harding. But you could be right. I mean, yeah, the talk now right now, I need info about those crystals and all that it entails. They might lose to the Celtics. Good point. Okay, bet that was up. Salute. So I think that's part of it, though. I think that's part of what they want to do. East side or west side. I think there's. What did I miss? Okay, I got you. Yeah, good for him. Yeah, ever since Kyrie came back, the Nets have been looking bad. Yeah, I mean, you could be right though. You could be right. I saw they wanted to. They boosted the Westbrook thing, let Westbrook win over Harding because he'd been losing all the other people, but he got Harding, and it seems like forever since Westbrook and Durant played together again. But remember, it was kind of that thing going on too. So it wasn't only the competition with Harding, but it was the competition against Durant, his ex-buddy too. Well, both of them, all three of them. Yeah, both of them. But that's what I didn't understand about Houston. Like, why did Houston want Chris Paul? Why did any team want him? I mean, if you look at his career, just what was his need? He's been a liability on defense his whole career. So I never understood. Now, one thing they did do, remember, they were going to trade Paul to the Lakers, and Stern nixed that. Because remember, at one time, the league was running New Orleans before they got the owner of the Saints. His name was right there, that family. And so they got, before that guy died, they got them to buy the New Orleans team, Pelicans. So, but he stopped that. So I saw where Paul would have been effective there. But he wasn't really, to me, effective in with the Clippers. And the interesting thing is they made you think that if he played, he was the reason why they lost to Golden State when they had Golden State up, 2-1, maybe even 3-1. And he comes up with a groin injury. And then you look at past performances and you see the first year the Pistons won it. First Scott was out with a back of your leg, that kind of injury, hamstring, the hamstring. Excuse me. That's what Paul went out with, a hamstring. And you saw the first Pistons winning the championship. Scott had a hamstring, and then Magic's dribbling down court. Then he gets a hamstring injury. And then he's doing oh man, I can't go because my hamstring, but I'm so mad. I mean, it was just a whole act. It's like, okay, we see you're acting. But yeah, he was injury prone and small. Yeah, his contract made no sense. So you see there's something else going there. I mean, here's a dude that ain't winning, and he's on TV commercials for the last probably 5 years now. Remember, they had the big dude that plays for the Nets now, that he wore a dress. Remember that? The big old dude wore the Farrah Fawcett curl look in the commercial. He put the dress on. It's going to be interesting what his future will be after ball. But he was so thirsty to be in a commercial, he agreed to put a dress on and a woman's wig at 7 foot tall. So he was thirsty to be in a commercial. Yeah, the Spurs used to expose the Clippers when they had Chris Paul. Well, yeah, exactly. He just can't cover. They didn't want Kobe getting more rings. The NBA ran the New Orleans riot. Yeah, exactly. They did. They ran them. That is just the truth. NBA owned the team technically, but it was like the same way you had in baseball. The owner, the commissioner used to own. Or the commissioner before used to own. He used to own the Milwaukee. I think Manfred is the new commissioner, but the commissioner before owned Milwaukee Brewers. So they keeping the owner powers. He runs the association, the player association. Yeah, he does. He runs the players. DeAndre Jordan. Yeah, Jordan wore the dress. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna need that Vikings outfit. This stuff is cheap up here. It is cheap. I'm telling you. I think I paid $15 for this. I mean, I bought it like last week before. It was like $15. So that's why I wear it. I am a Phillies fan, but I buy cheap. So I don't mind them because this stuff is very affordable. The hats be like, these be $30 hats. You get them from Marshalls. These hats be like $10 if you bought it new. And because this hat is 3 years ago, the style, but what I matter, that don't matter to me. It's like a fitted hat and it's $10. So I get all this stuff. But thanks. Kobe would have won 2 more with Paul. Yeah, I think so. Too. Other times they've been able to do that kind of thing, and that's one of the times you saw them stop a guy from moving, which was really an odd thing that they stepped in like that. And again, it was a conflict of interest. And what he was trying to say is they weren't going to get return, which wasn't really true. They were going to get return actually. So he had another interest for that. And then you don't let him go to them, but you let him go to the Clippers. Do you see that? What was the difference? So that was one of the most kind of weirdest things that they did. Watch the interesting thing tonight. Didn't really take any notes on it, but watch the thing on when the Mormons got a confrontation in Mexico. They had a special on that tonight. It was interesting. The Mormons, because they wanted to have more than one wife, it was accepted down in Mexico for a period, and they took advantage of the land. They grew a lot of farms and a lot of stuff, and it sounded like they were sniped at, like because again, I was going back and forth to the hockey game. The Wings won, or not the Wings, but the Wild won tonight. They beat the Avalanche 4-3 in overtime. So I was kind of going back and forth. So I missed a lot of the story, but it was just interesting that the drug cartel, and they were saying that they've been down there for years. They've been down there since the 1800s, something like that. And the cartel, for them to attack, that had to be something else, because they killed some women. Well, they killed one woman point blank, but they killed some children as well and injured some children, which when you do business, you really don't want that kind of negative publicity. That kind of thing would bring a lot more heat, no matter, whose country it is. That would bring a lot more heat. Again, they're probably not American citizens anymore. They've been down there for so long. However, it puts eyes on them. It puts eyes on them, and those people have friends. And so it just made me wonder why they would do that. But it was just kind of interesting. Did you see Brady wanted to wear number 7 before the season started for his 7th Super Bowl? The mockery. Interesting. Yeah, because somebody else wore 12. Somebody else wore 12. I don't know how they both were ball dominant. It would depend on who the coach would be. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I can see that tried to do, because somebody else wore 12. I can't remember what player wore 12. And remember, this kills Doug Williams. Doug Williams wore 12 for them, and this kills him too. I have a Doug Williams jersey, and that was the only kind of thing that made it unique. And I saw a hat that was matched that jersey, and I should have bought it. And I checked the price on it, but it said 50% off. So it was probably cheaper, because I looked at the price and I was kind of moving. And it was probably, because it still came up like $35. No, it was cheaper. It's like 25 it came up, or 30, but it would have been half price of that. So I didn't buy it. Bucks by 12. Well, I'm taking 3. I'm taking 3. It doesn't seem like too many other places is giving up that, but I'm taking the 3 in the Bucks. I think if Patty, like I said last night, if Mahomes and them win, it is going to be. I don't think they're going to cover. If they win, they won't cover. If Tampa Bay wins, I think Mahomes is going to do the Brady thing, the Russell Wilson thing, is cause a turnover, and as they're driving to get that last score, that he's going to throw a turnover. But that's how they do it. I got Bucks winning. Yeah, Draco, I got the Bucks winning too. I'm taking the points, and everybody. I'd bet all my son's friends. So I'm going to watch the Super Bowl. I'm going to the city and watch the Super Bowl with them. It's funny with my sons, and they're all young, 25, 26, whatever, around there. And when I watched the national championships, these fools drank 4 cases of beer, and it was about 6 of them. But it was like, while I was there, it was like a snowstorm. I had to drive back home in a snowstorm. They had drank 3 cases, then they went out and got another one, because they was doing the drinking game, turnovers, and championship, the national championship last year. It was a lot of scoring, and so they was just doing some stupid drinking. Watch the Chiefs lose by a pick 6. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what it's looking like to me, that they're gonna lose like that. I think that's the script, and I do think they want Brady to be the greatest athlete of all time. Don't know if he's that, but that is what the aim is. It'll put him over Jordan. And I wouldn't be surprised if he wins 7, they might want him to tie Yogi Bear's 10. That's what I'm kind of looking at even. And like even looking at Stafford, it's like I was telling my best friend, the new general manager for the Lions is an A&T graduate. So he got a hell of a deal for that. Yeah, there's no way if I was general manager of the Rams, I'd have gave up all that. It'd have been a one-on-one trade. I don't know how that wasn't a one-on-one trade, unless now McShay has the Lions picking Fields. That's what McShay has. Todd McShay. They have Fields going to the Lions. That's another reason why, to me, it didn't make sense for the Lions if that's their plan. Why bring this young guy in coming in? You plan on picking a rookie. Again, with the new coach, I haven't studied him enough to know if Goff fits in his system. Goff is not very accurate. If he's not on a good team, he's not going to do well. You saw that when his line was starting to get hurt, he can't get out of trouble. He's a slightly bigger guy, strong arm, but not very accurate. So I like Stafford. I've always liked Stafford. I just don't think they didn't really put the type of team around him, I always thought, too. And didn't Stafford play on the team that didn't win a game? Wasn't Stafford the quarterback, or did he get hurt? I can't remember if he got hurt that year, but I'm sure he was on the team when they didn't win a game, when they went 0-16. I am not giving up 2 first rounders for Stafford. Yeah, CJ, but it was first round this coming. No, not even that. It was first round in 22, and I think first round in 23. I think they got a second round pick in this coming draft, I believe. I think that was part of it too, was a second round in this coming draft. But the other first rounders I thought was 22, 23. I don't think it was, yeah, it wasn't 21. It was 22, I think, in 23. Or it was either like 23, 22, 24, something like that, if I read it right. Stafford is like Phillip Rivers, good, but not good enough. Yeah, Maurice, I would give you that too. He's like that one I showed that he threw on purpose to J.J. Watts. He threw that interception on purpose. He will follow the script. And remember, they were only a play away from going to the championship a few years ago when Dallas went. And then Dallas lost to Green Bay. Remember, they were a holding call away from winning that game. That was really their time. It was a holding call, and they didn't call it. They didn't help the Lions. They helped the Cowboys. And then the Cowboys got beat by the Packers. So that was their game. Smacked again. Caught myself smacking. But yeah, he's I like him, but yeah, he's not great. The Rams have no future. I mean, the Rams are going to be money struck until they can have fans. Let's be honest. The Rams and the Chargers both. They're gonna that stadium, they're both gonna be money struck. That owner's catching it. So we'll see what they'll be able to do after building that stadium and not having the perks of people being in it. Have you seen that old Brady in his first Super Bowl? Different person clothes. He was hurt. Joe Harris intentionally threw the ball to Westbrook. It did look like that too. Nets threw the game. There was another game I watched that too. Like my guy Duncan Garcia plays for Marquette. He was a young dude that's out of here, out of Prior Lake, and he plays for Marquette. And they're like on a 3-game losing streak. They went into this 3-game losing streak. They were 8-5, and now they're like 8-8. Excuse me, maybe 8-9. But Duncan, man, this guy's big. This guy was probably 6'9.5" as a senior, and I bet he's every bit of 6'10" now. He has a point guard kind of game, and he looked okay. He had actually one of his better games, and they lost by 2. They did a stupid play down where a dude kind of threw the ball away on purpose, and I was like, damn. I thought they had a shot, and they threw the ball away at the last minute. So it's not the only game. So that Goff for Stafford trade was dumb. Stafford is literally Goff, but older. Rams offense is horrendous, but their defense is good. Yeah. Nets did through the game. King Kane, I agree. I think Goff doesn't. I'll say this: Stafford is more accurate. He's a more accurate passer than Goff. So in that regard, if they can protect him, he can like he'll kill slot receivers and stuff. If they gave him good slot receivers and quick slot receivers, a little more what the Rams have. I mean, look at what he did with Megatron. I mean, he did his job with Megatron. Megatron caught a ton of balls. They just didn't have anything around him. And then they had bad drafting. I mean, that's the team that drafted 3 receivers 3 years in a row, Matt Millen. And then talking about those was the best athletes. He didn't draft for what he needed. I mean, do you see how ignorant? He drafted for the best athlete. That's stupid. You draft for what you need. But again, they're the perennial losers, so that's why he was allowed to do that. He was so unpopular in Detroit, they wanted to hang that old dude. They wanted to tar and feather him. Y'all ever saw a movie where a dude got tarred and feathered? Y'all ever saw that? Remember the movie that Jerry Clooney was in, Brother, Where Art Thou? And they show a dude get tarred and feathered. I mean, they'd actually put hot tar on your ass, and then they would dump like pillows and shit on you, and then kick you in your ass and put you out to town. But Brother, Where Art Thou? It shows somebody getting tarred and feathered. They it's funny, ain't a lot of pictures on that, people getting tarred and feathered. I have to look it up. We're not going to lynch you, but we're going to tar and feather your ass. Get the tar. I thought tar to be effective had to be heated up. I've seen Lions throw games on multiple Thanksgivings. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Revenge of the Nerds. Yeah. Lions are perennial losers. Lions, Cowboys, 1970. It was like up until Barry Sanders came, that was the only time they had made the playoffs. It was like they didn't make the playoffs in almost 20 years. 1970, when they played the Cowboys, I want to say they lost 7-6. Then another year, it was a receiver named Freddie Scott. And they have Tampa Bay and Doug Williams and them beat. And Freddie Scott drops the winning touchdown. He wasn't with the Lions long after that. He was in the USFL. Back when I was chasing camps, I know he was with the LA Invaders. But he dropped a touchdown that would have won a playoff game for the Lions. I won't say Eric Hipple was the quarterback. So they've had chances, but again, he dropped it on purpose. Strong discernment. Night Train was another great line. Oh my goodness. I had an autographed picture of Night Train. My father had went to somewhere and met him. And boy, you talk about a dude that used that, a necktie. Oh, he would just come at him like this. And you can almost punch a person like when you hit him with all that. He was good at that. And when you looked at his early career, dudes wasn't wearing face masks yet either. So when he would hit him with that necktie, and he's a big guy. I mean, this guy was about 6'4", 6'5". Remember, he still has the 13 interceptions. He still has the record for us. And he only played 12 games and got 13 interceptions. He didn't play 16, 17 games. So he was bad. You know, he started with the Rams. I don't know if people remember that. But yeah, him and Dick LeBeau. Dick LeBeau played with another Hall of Famer. Dick LeBeau is one of the only DBs to ever play with two other Hall of Famers. Dick LeBeau played with Night Train, and Dick LeBeau played with Lynn Barton. And Dick LeBeau's in, I think, as a player, and they put him in as a coach and a player. But yeah, Night Train was nasty. Watch some old Night Train films. He coming at you like that when you could still do it. That's how dude kind of knocked out Frank Gifford. Number 60, his name would come up to me. He's the dude I always talk about with his fingers completely like his fingers way over here. His name, not Nick Bonacani. His name would come to me in a minute, but he caught Frank Gifford like with just his shoulder. Boom! Lights out. Frank almost didn't play for a year from that injury. Watch that injury. And he like catches him with all. Lights out. We used to call that the bone. They never mentioned these players still holding these records. Yeah, they ain't gonna break Night Train record. I mean, they'll have to do a lot of fixing. Now the dudes is getting what 2, 3 for the season. What is the season record? 6, I think this year. It was like 6, 7. I think it was only 6 this year. The person that led the league in interceptions, and they passed more. You know, Night Train played against Jim Brown and all them when they wasn't passing as much, and he still got 13. And he ran back. I mean, he had ran back so many. He was bad. He was really bad. I wonder what happened to the whole Kirkpatrick story. It seems like NFL got bigger since. It wasn't gonna be. See, the problem is when you ain't playing and you ain't playing at that position. If he was real, he would have played in them other leagues. I mean, at least Johnny Manziel went to Canada. He tried it. He tried to keep active in football. And I don't even know what happened in Canada. I don't know why they kicked him out, but at least he was trying. As a matter of fact, Johnny Manziel went to the other league, the league we had last year. He played in that one and got kicked out too. At least he was trying to stay active. If Kirkpatrick was real, he wouldn't have never did it. And again, if you look at his life, what dude protested and got to keep his number one, his contracts with Nike, his other contracts? Most dudes lose that. And remember, he restructured his contract. What his last play in 14? He got paid the next season he didn't play. He got like $20 million because they restructured his contract for like the end of the year. And Wiley says it best about that cat, that cat wasn't nothing like that. What that cat did at first is what I did when I was younger. We sat down. That's what he did at first. And then they got people kneeling. You kneeling like you kneeling to the king. Kneeling during them playing that is like that. It's like you're kneeling to the king. It's this type of spell. So it's bogus. But yeah, and I think honestly too, he was Trump's guy. It was Trump's revenge. I got into that before about Trump's revenge in the USFL because Trump actually did believe they were going to let the generals in. The Generals were the best team that last year. Trump convinced the NFL, the USFL, to play in the fall and compete against the NFL, despite them having successful seasons playing in the spring. That's what killed the league was Trump. Trump almost single-handedly killed the USFL by himself. And he was supposed to be granted the Generals going to be in the league because the Generals was playing at the Meadowlands. And he was denied. So he got revenge. It took him a long time. And I did that on Slideshow a few years ago. He got his revenge. That was Trump's guy. And that's why Trump gone, you notice he's gone. So I don't know if people realize that, but that to me was all Trump's revenge. The ratings went down. And I'll say this is the ratings is still kind of down for the league in some ways. The college championship ratings were horrible. They were horrible. And I haven't seen the ratings in the playoffs, but I know they have to be down somewhat. Somebody mentioned that. Stranger Sermon, did you mention that about the ratings being down for the playoffs? So it's going to be interesting. We know now there aren't going to be Coke, Pepsi, Budweiser are not doing big time $1 million, $5 million commercials. No, you know what they are doing? They said they will spend money to do COVID commercials. Oh, and this they might turn me off for saying this, but this is some real shit too. You know, they're talking about now if you watch anything about Israel, you know they brutalize the Palestinians. They just brutalize them. Now you know what the big push is, y'all? To get the Palestinians a vaccine over there. Like all of a sudden you brutalize them in every way, shape, and form, but all of a sudden you care about to get them vaccinated. Isn't that some shit? They hated them the way they treat them. They're the worst treated people on this earth. And now we got to make sure they get the shit. So that just shows you. That shows you right there what their intentions are. QAnon supporters fell for the bait. Yeah, they did. And I might, let me see. Common story was so fake. Manziel has a very large, all-seeing eye tattooed on him. He started kneeling when he got benched. There you go, CJ. That's right. He did that for press. Exactly. That for press. I saw Manziel at a gas station in downtown Cleveland. He had a cocky attitude. Wow, interesting. You met him, okay. Yep, QAnon supporters fell for the bait. Everything is down. Streaming and viewership. People are catching on to it. Yeah, read my soul. I think that's one of the things Sly has said. He said that I was kind of behind the push of people exposing the fakeness of the league. And you know, my voice has really, I want to thank everybody like Draco and others. I want to thank y'all for, you know, echoing my voice about this system, all of it being fixed. And again, I am not one to, you know, I am part of the Hero Twins. I rock with my brothers. If you can make the work look more professional in a better way, I am all for that. I have no ego when it comes to truth. I have no ego when it comes to exposing the corruption. Whichever way it's exposed, right on. I'm glad I'm getting allies because that's what I look at it. Because again, when I started doing this in 14, 15, wasn't a lot of people really out there showing the plays, you know, showing the play-by-plays and how this system is done. And again, a lot of my work from back then is gone. My early, and now all the rest of it is except what was backed up. But this is the thing now. So I salute everybody. You know, it's nothing but putting it out there. That's how I look at it. Put it out there. I can't even debate about who's the best player. Shit, they had Bill up to 60. Bill had 60 tonight? Wow, I thought they lost. Didn't they lose? Didn't I see them losing? No, that's right. They won. That's right. Westbrook, they won. Yeah. Now that was so fixed. What did they score? 10 points? What was it? The last 30 seconds they scored 8, some shit like that. Yeah, that was some BS. I only watch highlights of games. I can't watch a whole basketball game for more than a few minutes. Same here, Draco. Once you see the obvious rigging, you can't go back to delusion. There you go. The other day, yeah. Plus the style of play is awful. Yeah, I get that too. You get a Patreon or a podcast and a Cash App, so we donate. It might help you get better equipment. Well, I got a Cash App. I do have a Cash App. And I guess it don't hurt to put it in there. Hey. Shoot. Am I drunk? I ain't even type it. Okay. It is funny. Takes me forever to peck. Oh. Oh. There we go. Oh. But you know, yeah, and I'm still trying to work on myself too, work on things, and because I'm getting a better phone, and the phones are great. Whichever phone I'm getting, I'm not sure. Still, the 21 Ultra is a great phone, but the cameras are some of the best cameras ever made. Even if I get the 12 Pro Max, great cameras, especially for this format to change cameras from this one, because that camera phone is a better phone than this one. So, yeah. So when Clippers choked the 3-1 lead to the Nuggets, it was so, yeah, that was sloppy. That was really sloppy. The whole thing setting up for forcing Doc to leave. You know, then they bring in the Cleveland coach, they bring him in, and you knew kind of the scenario why he was there. If Doc didn't win it, then he was going to take over. So you knew that scenario was there. And that couldn't have been comfortable for Doc either, knowing that this younger coach is really kind of there to replace me. That's hard. That's hard to have to live like that. And, you know, as men, it's no personal thing because he saw the move. He knew the move. But Doc again. And Doc and others, again, I'll say this, one reason why, and it is all fixed in Old Boys Club, but one thing that you have to understand is that the preparation for TV analysis is almost like being a coach. And that's why Steve Nash's pick was so bogus, because he wasn't doing this preparation. The TV announcers analysis do a lot of preparation, same way coaches do. And matter of fact, maybe somewhat more, because you are planning for 2 teams. You are trying to plan for 2 teams instead of just 1 team. So some ways it's a little more challenging. But like we see the expertise like Tony Romo, once you've seen it all, you can call it. It hasn't changed that much. It's like even me, once I look at a formation, there's only so many passing there's only so many passing routes. They haven't changed. I mean, I haven't played football in 40 years, and the routes are still the same routes. And they can't, there's no new route. Matter of fact, we go back to Don Hudson. Look up who Don Hudson is. He was the first great receiver in the game. The routes ain't really changed much since he played, other than the run and shoot and the quick hitters. But it's the same routes: curls, outs, slants, digs, hitches. I mean, these are all the same routes. It's not much different. Robo is going to be a coach. I think so. The commentators say more than they should on air. They always cough up something. They kind of do. Again, like what I caught last summer, dudes slipping and doing the Korean and admitting that dudes can't hit certain pitches, they don't get them thrown. That was a good gem I caught. And I was like, because they was messing around. It was 5 a.m, and they was messing around, and they thinking ain't nobody listening. Well, what is the thing? When you're on air, it's out there. So you can't really be sloppy, because you never know. You never know. And I caught him being sloppy. But the league now it's too obvious. It's too obvious. from every sport, every sport. You look at the tennis and the way that's manipulated, that they insult you so much. And I talk about this over and over again. When they did the tennis match in 2 days, and then didn't they make a movie out of it too? Remember, they made a movie out of it. But why would it take 2 days? You telling me out of the lifetime of tennis, these dudes are so evenly matched that they played about 20 games one night? That's not real. It's no way we should believe that it would take that long to finish a game. That they're that evenly matched. That was on purpose. It's type of ritual. Oh, and no, I don't think there was any murders yesterday. I don't think anybody died in sports yesterday. If somebody heard something, please put it up there so we can count it. So we're still at 6 going into Super Bowl week. Option routes are more on top of routes. That's the only new thing. That we had that too. We had that too though. When I played, when we started seeing more cover 1, cover 2s, cover 3s, we started seeing those defenses, and so that we had that too, and that was really part of run and shoot brought that in more than anything, because run and shoot gave you. So again, as you set up, if you're a slider, you're out. Depending on how they set up is what you would run. So that wasn't really new. That came in with run and shoot more than anything, the option routes. So. And again, I do have a run and shoot playbook somewhere. I still have it. The original Miles Davis one of my boys played for him in the USFL. Jason Pierre-Paul accidentally told an analyst that history was being written, showing you he knows it's rigged. Wow, that's a good point. Hey, Pac-Man, thank you for joining me. That is interesting because again, he made all pro, and remember, he blew off his fingers and he made all pro, not Pro Bowl, all pro. Paul made all pro. So I didn't know it wasn't new. Yeah, we've been running option routes though. We've been running that. Yeah, but that came in with the run and shoot. Because matter of fact, we ran. My last year, we had a receiver coach come in, Ken Schofield came in from Florida State with Bobby Bowden. So we ran their offense. We was running their offense. We was doing a lot more deep crossing routes. Like my first 2 years, we never did that. And I never liked it. Neither did Randy Moss, because the deep crossing route, you was like, everybody's dropping kind of to the middle. So I don't think we completed one of those. But he brought in were option routes too as well. Yeah. So it's been around, but not used as heavily. I'll say that part you're right about. It's not used as heavily. And we'll see the free throw made. He tried to miss it and it rolled off the front and rolled off so weird. Yeah, I caught that too. Be more. Yeah. One of my favorite lines from Broadcaster. You couldn't have scripted any better. There you go. We see it all the time. Exactly. Commentaries always say someone's acting. Yes, great acting, or that is a good written script. Yeah, they do. They say that all the time. They give the hints, and we do see that. Well, I will stop to give a little bit to the people. So we are at day 4. So we are at 13 platoons, 0 platoons. Let's see, 13 platoons, 0 platoons, 8 tunes. We are at 4 Uno, and we are at 4 Kin. And 4 Kin would be Khan, and the energy is from the south. Khan is seed idea, ordering, power of growth, generative principle, sex and reproduction. And from the Chotec, we have lizard. In this card, we see the Chamula, the mythical mother, the mythical mother. Let me see. In the card, we see the mythical mother of Suaquato, who was the human incarnation of Quetzalcoatl, giving birth to the spiritual leader. From her mouth, a song is coming out. The rope around and above her shows the cycle of life she has begun. On the top right, the lizard is protecting the process. The lizard associated with the elements representing the Yanni and earth. Thus, the lizard symbolized represents the pursuit of Yanni practices without losing connection with the earth. In other words, a Yanni path within a down-to-earth context, or staying grounded is, I think, what it means. Because it represents this grounded approach to magic, the lizard is a symbol of equilibrium, When you get this card, it's a sign that you need to look for the equilibrium that arises from cultivating both your spiritual, magical side, and your practical side with equal attention. As the guardian of the temple guide of the Yanni, Katapoplin calls for the one who devotes themselves to learning and developing the most basic and traditional forms of Yanni, Yanu. In traditional Yanni societies, the Yanni path arose from the contemplation and the interaction with the forces of nature in a spiritual context. In this context, nature is regarded as the visible face of the Great Spirit. The basic Yanni maneuver was to initiate interaction with the forces of nature. Paradis. It means to achieve states of heightened awareness in which the basic separation between the self and what is out is there at the other end. It was if the ecstatic union between the humans and nature. The difference between Yanni and religion lies in two main factors. The first one is Yannis take place in nature instead of church. The second is the Yanni, there is no place for intermediaries or priests who have power over others through managing people's connection with the source. In the Yanni experience, you make the connection with the spirit by yourself. In the modern Western attempt to understand Yanniism, overemphasis of the role of the Yanni has misled people to think that Yanni can be practiced by Yannis only. The truth is the Yanni experience is open to all the community, and the Yannis themselves are just supporters who provide space and techniques for people to participate in the Yanni experience. Getting this card can be a sign of develop your Yanni path. So if anybody rocks with that, you are welcome to use that energy. Remember, if you want to manifest, the energy comes from the south. Let me see how my etheric field is doing today. Let's see how my etheric field is doing today. What should be my question? Okay. Will the Patriots win the Super Bowl? To the right, yes. To the left, no. Will the Patriots win the Super Bowl? What do you think? What is the energy out there saying? Are you going to play or not play? Oh, kind of yes, no. No real answer. Oh, let's see. Okay. Is this strong or it looks weak? Oh, kind of a medium no. Okay. That's the other one. Or not the Patriots. Gosh, it's not the Patriots. I guess I mean Tom Brady. So yeah, it gave the right answer. Will the Bucks win the Super Bowl? I'm so Tom Brady with the Patriots. Will the Bucks win the Super Bowl? To the right, yes. To the left, no. Will the Bucks win the Super Bowl? Let's see what this kind of energy will say. Can we get some clarity? Will the Bucks? I guess I was meaning Tom Brady. Let's see. Can we get any clarification on this? Oh, okay. This is giving a pretty affirmative yes. Wow. It is moving a lot faster on camera than it's moving for me. That is interesting. Well, thank you. And I am a weirdo talking about Tampa Bay or talking about the the Patriots. Yeah, Patriots definitely ain't gonna win the Super Bowl. Yeah, that's the Mayan factor. Yep, that is the Mayan factor. New Year's Super Bowl will be either Lamar or Watson or Rodgers. Could be. I wouldn't be. Let me see what I missed. Exactly. Commentators always someone is acting, getting caught. Yep. What book is your reading? I'm sorry, Pac-Man. Yeah, it is the Mayan factor. Thank you. Somebody put that in there. Readings by Jose Aguirres, who actually been down to all the pyramids and such. Yep. Do you mean Buccaneers? Yes. Thank you, T Gaming. Yep. I did mean the Buccaneers. I am off. I am off. Yep, they win it. I'm sure you get the T right. Yeah, find out if you're going to have to take the swab. The anal swab. Yes, Preston. Ah, I want you to buy a black mirror. What else should I use as far as traveling? I want to buy a black mirror. What else should I use as traveling? Yeah, you can use you can get the painted ones or you can get the obsidian ones. And it depends on what kind of movement you want to do. Uh, I'll tell you, if you can comprehend any of this stuff, get a mirror and then read this stuff and see if you can use this kind of spiritual awakening. These are some bad chicks, and their way, you ain't got to use that blood. They tell you it in the end, and I've been trying to find that part. They tell you in the end you don't need the blood to move through it's another way. It ain't just the ethers. It's another way. Again, I told my experience. I'm in the ethers just kind of concentrating on the fractals that are coming in, and the sister just opens the door and all that. Last night, I saw, it was like maybe it was the night before, but it was like another door had opened for me that was a completely different color. So it was really kind of interesting that it was like, okay, don't knock it under the couch. I know it rolls. I knocked my chapstick down. The cat found it. I didn't want her to knock it over. But another interesting kind of porthole, if you want to call it that, open. So I was kind of excited about that because it was like new things coming in. So your spiritual quest can always get more. It's always more that can come. It's like you figure out so much and then so many more doors open. You're like, oh, I can do that. How do I do it again? And I contacted a person today. They got some real deal stuff. I was like, whoa. And they're in this area. And I mean, some for real, really, real powerful stuff. It's like, whoa. So they have a couple things I'm going to order, but they have some stuff. And it cost. But they was like, this is how you test how strong of a part you get. So they have this type of bone, and this is how strong it is. They were like, put the bone up current, and first of all, the bone won't sink. And they were like, to see how strong it is, put it up current, you go down current, and see how long it takes and see the way it floats on the water. And it will tell you how strong of magic the bone has. And not only that, they was like, well, if you don't want to do that, just go home and see if this bone will float in, just make a tub of water. And it's like, I was just reading the process. I'm like, ooh, this is kind of deep. I've always known the things you can do when the conditions are right. If you plan on getting into electromagnetism, I want to learn waterbend. Well, to really the cartoon, the Airbender, in a lot of ways touches on all the different ways that you can manifest from the different air. Bomber had a guy named, look up Dynamo Jack. Dynamo Jack create fire in his hands. And I was going to mention this earlier about the weather. I have a strong relationship with the wind, and it is interesting how you can make it tornado around you. I mean, you really can. Like, it takes a lot of practice, but you can make the wind tornado around you. And what happens is you try to get where it's a little dirt, and you just start communicating with the wind, and you see that dirt being all around you, but you be kind of in the center of it. And the thing is you get the tornado to follow you. And it's kind of interesting that you can get it to do that. I'll give you another example of how you have to have this relationship. So I am coming back from Michigan and I'm in Wisconsin. I mean, I had an easy trip the whole way. The last 50 miles, I hit an ice storm. Now, I get behind a tractor trailer. He's just throwing all that ice on me, and it's like, no way I can drive like that. It was so bad, actually, I thought about stopping. A lot of people was pulling over. So what I do is I start getting by him, and I'm getting by him. I'm like, oh, and even though I'm a heavy all-wheel drive truck, I am like still. So, right then I was like, hey, if there's ever help, I really do need this right now. I need the earth to hold me down in the earth, and I need the wind and ice to give me a little break. And, was able to make it on through. But then when I got into St. Paul was like just a sheet of ice. It was like less than 5 miles an hour. And I just peeped what people was doing. I just like proceeded really slow. I saw like an 8-car accident in front of me. But these are the ways. And so my point is about water. You're saying water bend, really start working and concentrating on the water and really look at the water as an individual. And what I mean is right now our water suffers. I mean, we really like the water that comes out of our, that's right. The water, I've said this many times, the water that comes out of our spigots is old recycled water. It's over 100 years old in most instances. In most instances, this water is extremely old, and it's just the same water. And so the life of the water is it's a lot of water not in, well, let me change this. A lot of the real water is not in it, is my point. It's like everything I do for my water with the shungite is to turn it into real water. I think a lot of system Bomber has probably the best, most affordable system. It only makes so much at a time, but it gives you real water. And you can do all the tests for water to see, if you like. I play music in the shower again to try to bring my whole vibe up, to try to put some life in this dead water that they pour out of our showers. Even if you treat it with soft water, it doesn't really make it alive. It makes it less harmful to you. What happens to Garoppolo? That's a good point. What did I miss? Hey, Valerie, thank you for joining me. Oh, I missed it. Bonner needs the money desperately, but didn't know what happened. I heard about Dynamo Jack. Yeah, look up Dynamo Jack. Yeah, that man, we damn near limitless when it comes to, yeah, I am a water sign. So that's why I say water bending as well. Yeah. And if you're a water sign already, then, I'm a Cancer. Then you already have a relationship with water. But that's the thing. You can have a deep relationship with it. Again, I'm part of the storm energy too. Watching either going to Niners or Panthers. Panthers will be 0-3 in the Super Bowl. Good point. What happened to Garoppolo? Yeah, they're not on him. What's on with you? And the other channel just decided to do some research and found you. Yeah, they took the other work down. They took 8-winged eagle down. They erased me off of Google. You can't even Google 8-winged eagle. Nothing will come up. King Kang, you said Mayfield was related to Brady. Oh, they lead him. Yeah, Unique. Hey, Unique, thank you for joining me. Tommy Blue. I know I want to know why. Yeah, I don't know why either. I didn't have any strikes or anything. So I don't know why. Panthers play in Bank of America Stadium, then go to Sci-Fi Stadium, banking and financing to play. Oh, interesting. That's a point. They never stated that. I knew they would do that. Oh, okay. I didn't know they would do that. Under Zach's video. Oh, okay. He exposed them too much. CJ, nah, I don't mess with Zach. I am an air sign. What zodiac am I? I don't know. I am an air sign. Guess what zodiac I am? I don't know. Tell me. I don't want to think. Why did they erase you? What was their explanation? Still haven't had it. I still haven't got the full explanation. Well, thank you, strong discernment. Yeah, I never had any strikes. Like the only strikes I came on 16 or 17, I was playing music in videos, and I got a strike for playing. I had music in the background, and then I explained it. Like I explain every video I make. I'm like, I pay for this cable, so I pay for the cable. So it's like when you give me a strike, you're making me pay for it twice. That was my point. So they took the strike back, and that was like in 16 or 17. So they took the strike off. So I didn't have any strikes. And none 18, 19, and 20. Yeah, so none. But it was like the new people came in to the administration. So they changed a lot. You guys are silly. Libra, okay, Libra. All right. I was looking at I was trying to figure out which because you can see the belt, the 3 stars at the belt. So I was trying to figure out looking up what that is because a lot of times it's not even here. It's been so foggy. Like the full moon was the only night we was able to see the full moon. The rest of the nights it was turned off. I mean, not turned off, but it was just not bright. It was cloudy, so I really couldn't see the full moon. Yeah, I'm a Cancer. Cancer, and my name is Barry. Float, float on, float on, float on. I saw the cats in concert too. They had like 1 or 2 songs. My name is Jeff, and I'm Aquarius. And I think I told the story of seeing the shy lights, and the shy lights was like telling their zodiac signs, and they was like they would tell their zodiac sign, and one girl would go crazy, and it's like that's your. And these dudes was going out in the audience slobbing these chicks down. Whoever matched their zodiac sign, they would go in the audience and slob them down the shy light. Have you seen her? Tell me, have you seen her? Yeah, they were slobbing these chicks down. And again, the concert was on a college campus at Western Michigan University, but the shit was kind of funny. Not this day and time you would be slobbing people down. October 6th is my birthday. Oh, okay. What up, JR Smooth? What's happening? The sun seems like hiding more and more these days. Yeah, I was looking at full moon and I was like, was this a moon simulator? Who's buzzing me? But I'll tell you, it's called Sophic Sorcery. You want to see some real deal stuff? Sophic Sorcery. They got some real deal stuff. Let me explain this thing to you. Y'all look this up. It's called a Hope P bone. HOOPOE bone. This is some bad shit here. This is some real bad shit. And I was just like, wow, this is some shit you want to work with, dog. Because they have a thing called it's called a Sabha spirit catcher, but it's another part of it. It's called a Abda, Shaha and Abda, so it's separate. So don't know what the Abda. I see it in here, but. And so, and then it goes one of the essential sorenic power tools within the Eastern systems in the Sophic current. This is some bad stuff, yo. Same for everybody, though. I'll say that. It's like even living, it's like even the Pitterics. The Pitterics, you read the Pitterics, and the Pitterics will tell you that a wizard wrote this in Arabia, and it ain't for everybody. Some of this stuff ain't for everybody. So. It's like you can try to think you're going to manifest or you think you're going to call up something and you make a circle. And don't you know that you can get trapped in that circle or you can be put in that circle 2D? I mean, it just ain't something that everybody should mess with. Some people leave that shit alone if you don't know enough about it. Again, Black Mirror, I think is the movie. Watch that movie if you're really interested in that stuff. That movie shows you it takes 6-7 months to try to do this stuff. And if you break it, there'll be consequences. That's what they show her at the end. She gets attacked. Have you read the Ankh? Touches on electromagnetism in ancient times, uses the poles of grounds himself. I'll answer it like this. It has a lot of the Shiva energy too in the Ankh, because if you look at how the Shivas are put in, the Shiva is basically an atom and it's held in. Whoops, that kind of hurts. So it's like the atom is held. The Ankh energy is a lot like that too, and a lot of people want to say that the Shiva energy comes from basically India. Well, I've got one book, The Dude is showing Shivas in America, again during early times, very, very early pictograph America, those kind of things. So where this stuff is all over. So it's very close to that. So yeah, the Ankh as a energy force. Yeah, as its own energy force. Yep. And we know that, a lot of the Kemet, it appears like the Mayans messed with the Kemetans. It doesn't appear, and I would even say the Time Walkers helped them as well. It doesn't seem like they helped Babylon. It doesn't seem like that. You don't find the Mayan in the Babylon, but you find the Mayan in Kemet. So, and some people look at Babylon and they looked at Kemet as rivals, whereas in some ways you had the Kemet, the people in Babylon a little jealous of the people in Kemet. So you just got to read this stuff, y'all. I once dated the Dominican and Jamaican girl who had real life witches in her family. You should see some of the things she summoned or made happen just by calling out to her ancestors. Well, I'll tell you a true story, and I've told this story many times. So at A&T, we had initiations and shit where we beat up the freshmen. It's pretty much some frat bullshit. But we had one brother from the Virgin Islands, and after we beat up the freshmen, this brother put 3 hexes on me. Where was Wayman's room? Wayman's room was, who was Wayman's roommate then? I don't remember where Raymond's room was, but he put it over me. He put it over 2 other players, and all of us got hurt. All of us got hurt, like within days, because we didn't know. We didn't know. We walked over it and shit and picked the shit up, when in fact we just had to reverse it. Didn't know then. Again, there's a lot of ways to beat it, but back then I didn't know how to beat it. But all 3 of us got hurt, like within days. All 3 of us. I think I got hurt first. Yep. So Richard Pryor jokes. Richard Pryor was like, she done put a mojo on your ass. When Richard Pryor goes to see Miss Rudolph, because Junior done had a hex put on him. And I tell you, the worst hex I've ever heard of. I had a friend, and she was telling me about her cousin had messed with somebody. It was either her cousin messed with somebody or the somebody was her cousin. I don't remember the full story, but what she put on this dude, the dude died. And when he died, this was a cat that was in his 20s. But at his funeral, he looked to be about 70, 80 years old. I mean, whatever she did to him took all that life out of him quickly. So I don't remember if this was the relative of the person's telling me the story that happened to, or one of her relatives did that to. I don't remember. But that was that story. And I know the person was telling me, I know what she was telling me was real information. And she just had me like, yeah, so, and she kind of helped me in that situation too. She said, oh, I can fix that for you. I was like, okay, because I can't have this shit keep happening. I can't keep getting hurt. But yeah, that was the worst I ever heard of, where the person actually died. So I don't know if her relative caused the death or suffered. I don't remember the full story. But was either one. The dude died from what the heck she put on him. So it is best to know who you fucking with. I'll say that. I mean, that's the thing. It's how to protect yourself and break them. That's an energy in itself. Just that practice is an energy in itself. Now, I know people talk about natural law. There's spiritual law too. There's a type of spiritual law that the old TV series Bewitched always talks about, how you really can't just blatantly hex the world, because there's a type of spiritual law. Charm gets into it a little bit, where you really aren't allowed, like the one thing they try to put on you about the spiritual law is the love potion. You can't use magic to make somebody love you. That's spiritual law. That's really what they're telling you, that's spiritual law. It's not really a type of anti-hex. It's just, that's the spiritual law you can't break. If you understand that. And so Harry Potter tells you the same thing when they talk about just the practices between each other compared to the Muggles. There's a spiritual law about what we do, and we really have to hide what we do. That's spiritual law, is what Harry Potter is trying to show you, that there's a spiritual law out there, and not many people hit on that. And there's spiritual laws that these people have to abide by. I mean, you can't just bump into a person, the person just gonna hex the shit out you with all the power a person has. I mean, it don't work like that, It doesn't really work like that. There usually has to be some kind of emotion or wrong into that kind of thing. And so it's not something for everybody to worry about, because again, if you're not messing with that, really, they're not supposed to use that against you if you don't dabble in that shit. So there's spiritual law, which ain't got shit to do with these Bibles, Qurans. It ain't got shit to do with that. It's deeper than that. These laws is deeper, and these laws is older than that kind of shit. Jamaican spiritual country. She summoned a lot of things right in front of me. I'm still in shock and awe. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. There are people that have surprised me too. Seen lay up early and thought it looked weird, interesting. You did it too. Yeah, they made him miss. There was no way he missed that shot. And anytime you see the rolling around, they make it happen. Just came from the Nets. Wizards video. Okay. My baby mother is Jamaican and Honduran. She wants to be the man. I read my soul. That's funny. It was a big Harry Potter fan as I was younger, not knowing I was into witchcraft, and I read the books and watched movies. Yeah. Yep. Like Sacred Rituals of Amber Meelan. I would agree, Miss Jody. There it is. It's like you don't mess with people that don't practice. And Harry Potter shows you that. You do one-on-one talks with subs. I could. Don't charge people to talk to them. Ain't about that. So, what is the other email? I still Eagles are the bomb at Gmail. Eagle are the bomb at gmail.com. It's Eagle, then R the bomb at Gmail. I still get Gmail. They just erased me off Google. So yeah, I talk to people. I ain't got no problem with talking to people. There's people on here that I've talked to. Y'all ready for subs again from scratch? Actually, in like 7 days. That 474 is like in 7 days. Something like that, 7-8 days. So yeah, getting the best. Just getting the word. That's all. I'm not ego tripping off that. Never was. I already knew, the potential, and just try to put out, my knowing. That's about the best I could do, and be genuine as possible. Oh, well, thank you, CJ. That's kind. I'm it's a big thing. I mean, like when I watch Craig Facts and shit, people will donate money, but if they say something funny, they talk shit to the people watching. And I don't understand that kind of thing. It's like if somebody that is watching, that is taking their time, and they disagree, they cuss the person out, And that's my thing with Zach. It's like Zach gets into people wanting to donate and shit. Like if you don't donate or you don't buy his book, you stupid. And I'm telling you, I used to work for the most brilliant dude. This dude was one of the most brilliant persons of still the 20th century. This dude created a bladeless turbine. Actually, the car, the brake system that they used for the Teslas was his brake system that he created in 1980. He said each brake had to have his own motor, and he developed the motor. He developed the whole car back in 1980. He had a system called heat recovery system that's even better than the battery system. But anyway, his thing was, and I've said this many, many times, but his selling system was, you would be stupid if you don't buy my shit. That is a terrible salesman. But I'll say this, sometime it worked. Sometime he would say that to people, and people would look at each other like, you're right, we are stupid if we don't buy this, which used to trip me out, because people would agree. But he didn't know how to read his crowd. So you can't use the same thing. Like the snake oil salesmen want to sell every place. You got to have a different way you sell the stuff. I mean, and that's one thing he lacked. He was so ego driven that he lacked the knowing of reading who's in front of him. He didn't see that. His ego was so big that it was him in front of him. You dig what I'm saying? And he didn't see past him. Any Potters are reading the books. You haven't MT Gaming? You haven't seen any Harry Potters? Yeah, it's full of magic. It is full of magic. Once the money creeps in, some people attitudes start changing. Yeah, Valerie, I probably feel that on some people. I kind of watched that too. Hey, people that down you to uplift themselves to push products. There you go. Uh, I he could practice that because he wants to blame everything on the Jesuits. So it's both. But Joseph said something interesting tonight that I don't think people got, and uh, that Europeans and Jewish faith people really don't like each other. It's like Jewish faith people have never said that they were white. They've never taken that. I mean, you can go through any census and they never take that. I mean, they show publicly that they're white, like especially for their actresses and actresses, but they really aren't. They've never accepted that. So he's right that they kind of go at each other in some ways. I think that is kind of he's right in that point. There's been rumors of Zach for years. He's no good. Who's I couldn't say yay or nay. Mr. T is witchcraft. he don't practice no witchcraft. He ain't that deep. Head out. Okay, thank you, Tommy Blue. You can catch it later. Would you think that everyone have some type of act? You mean? Hey, when you're a Viking fan, no, I like affordable gear. And I paid less than 10 for this hat. I think I paid less than 20 or 20 for this. So I like it's I live in Minnesota. I live in Minneapolis, technically. I mean, I live in the south suburb of Minneapolis, so this stuff is cheap. So I buy the cheap stuff. It cost me more to get my Eagle stuff. Tried to read the first book of Harry Potter when I was little, but I didn't know. I didn't like reading it. That book was boring. Kind of, sort of. Oh, I'm a Packers fan. Okay, Mr. T, gaming. Hey, Lorenzo, thank you for joining me. Thank you very much for joining me. You feel about astro. You know how you when I smoke, I don't remember my dreams, so I stop to astro travel. It's a step, I'll say this, and if Jody's still listening, she might add to this too. So you can astral travel and not really leave your body. I mean, that is the first step. It's a kind of okay, so I guess this is how I had to put it. So you open up your first eye. And the fractals start coming in. You start creating, and you start going in. At that point, you really ain't left your body. Now, some people, you will stay at that point. Yes, your first eye is open, but as you get deeper and deeper to the astral, it is just really first eye open moving, if you can follow that. So you're sitting here, and yes, your first eye is being active, and you are astral working or ether working, but you haven't left your body. So that's a different thing. Now, I'm not saying you can't leave your body and do astral work. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is you got to know the difference between the two. So don't just think because this opens up, you leave your body, because it don't really work like that. It's kind of, and you don't really want to leave your body before that point either, because you kind of want to get used to it. You want to get used to all this blowing open. And then, because a lot of times, like, how do I want to put this? Sometimes I'll leave my body when I first start. It's like I'll be in such vibing where as it comes in, I'll start leaving my body then. You understand? And so I'll start doing the out of body work. So I guess that's the point, is there's out of body work, and then there's first eye work. They're kind of two different things. And so, but I mentioned this is because it's two different ways to plan for it. It's kind of hurting. So, I live in where I'm at. How do you feel? Yeah. So I meant knowing how to talk to someone respectfully. I live in Nashville. These Freemasons keep doing their damn rituals here. Yeah, you're gonna have to break them. I used to be a sports fan. Now every team can go to hell. Yeah, and it's not hard. Yeah, Draco, you can email me. I'll show you some ways to break even from them, and they'll leave you alone. They don't look at me. They be trying to get me to join their shit. I told the story before. When I lived in Michigan, they tried to give me the Mason building. Kid you not. They wasn't hardly using it. I never saw any functions or them making any money other than just having come to hang in. It was kind of like that movie, 47. Remember the movie about the lodge? It was almost like that. And they came to me and was like, we will give you this building and you can, because I was throwing raves in Michigan. I was throwing raves, printing the cards out, getting ecstasies, getting the water, the flashing shit, flashlights, all kind of shit. And they was like, man, they wanted a little bit of that money. And it would have been nice to have a hall to do it every weekend. I don't know if they would have been good with selling ecstasies, but but you know, I could do functions. And I was like, nah, I don't want that shit. That ain't for me, buddy. I live in Texas and people hate me for being a Packers fan. And my family says I should like the Cowboys. That's like my cousin never understood why I didn't like the Lions. I was never Lions or Pistons fan. I like Grant Hill, but I was never a Pistons fan. And I'd be like, I was less of a fan these days. Yeah, meditation is a great way to start before Astro. Yeah, exactly, Jody. Yeah, exactly. I don't care because I was born in Mississippi, so technically I can choose any team. There you go. Yeah, it's good to have a good teacher. Yeah, just to get a general understanding too, and know the difference. It's like another way. Another problem too is leaving your body ungrounded is another thing that you have to consider as well. The best way I could say it is, it's like you can leave your body, but if you are ungrounded when you leave your body, you're almost like a flag in the wind. You lose a little moving power. You're not as solid in the outer body work, is my point. You're not as strong as, I guess the best way I can put this is you're not as strong as you should be. You know, you're more apt to floatiness and not really. It's almost like you're in a helium balloon and you can't steer. I guess that's the best way I can put it. When you are in an out of body experience, you want to be able to steer and navigate, not just, whoa, I'm out of my body. No, it's not like that. You should have a purpose for it, but you want to be able to navigate. Without having the proper grounding, you might be like a helium balloon and just floating. And at first that's okay, but you're not going to get anything accomplished, is my point. You're going to be carried away. And then there's all kind of little so think about it. This system knows about that shit. So you know they put shit in there. It's like that witch I was telling you I was dealing with. You know, I was talking shit to her on Facebook and she was sending people after me and tried to get me to marry her and shit. So I called a truce with the chick. Again, it was like, you know, you ain't cheating me, so why am I commenting? So I made a truce. She didn't, you know, I blasted the hell out of her people, but after that, I made a truce with her. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna marry you for one. I don't care what you promised me. I don't care what you promised me. No, I'm not gonna marry you. But I'll leave you alone and I won't comment. And you know what? She didn't unfriend me on Facebook. She ain't unfriend me, which is interesting. So I think she kind of keeps an eye on me, but I'll leave her alone. I ain't got bad, you know, that's her hustle. I ain't got nothing to say about her hustle. That's her hustle. And that's where I was wrong. You know, that's her livelihood. And, you know, I shouldn't have nothing to say about that. People want to give her money. That's on them. That ain't up to me to decide. So, I don't understand how anyone could be a fan of any team when everyone is an actor on the team and all they do is rituals for money. Yeah, that's why I wear all the gear. It's like, it's not one team I won't wear the gear. I just wear all the gear because it's all a show. It's all a show. You know, it's all a show. But honestly, this is how I dress my whole life. Baseball hats, hoodies. I mean, I'll tell the story. My father worked at General Motors. My mother sold real estate. One winter, these people forgot to buy me a winter coat. They forgot to buy me a winter coat. And you know what you do is you survive. And so what I did is I put a hoodie together with 3 or 4 windbreakers. And we went somewhere and they was like, aren't you going to put your coat on? I'm like, this is my coat. They're like, what do you mean that's your coat? I'm like, this is what I wear every day. This is my coat. And my mother's like, you telling me you've been going through the whole winter wearing that? I'm like, yeah, I don't have a coat. This is my coat. I guess they were embarrassed. So they took me to the Mr. B's, which sells reject clothes, and bought me a coat. Lakers franchise won 17 titles, 5 in Minneapolis. Yes, they did. Third Eye, White and Indigo Purple, Intuition. Intersensory perception, inner wisdom, 7 chakras, universal connection with spirituality, consciousness. Yep, proper grounding, also known as a tether. Oh, that's what she put, tether. Yeah. Okay, I misread it. She did put tether. Yes. She put that before. I'm sorry, I misread it, Jody. Yes, a proper tether. And remember, that's the thing of wearing silver. Silver helps with your silver cord. And I think she means a little less than the silver cord. But it's, again, you do want to be, like she's saying, spiked into the ground still. And the other, like people also say, you get too grounded for certain kind of things too. It's like you do certain works where you do want to be a little less grounded. So it's just depending on what your situation is and what you want to deal with. It's not one way to go about it. Chosen one of his videos. I watched a little bit of his work sometimes. Is RFG the one that's so anti-woman? One of the cats is really anti-woman. And he really like shits on the divine feminine. So it's hard for me to watch him because of that point of view. He shits on the divine feminine so much. I was looking at it lately. Mr. B's rejecting clothes. Yeah. And this is the thing. They didn't even buy me school clothes. So my mother bought me a coat. My stepfather took me. Okay, so Mr. B's had just opened up. So my mother buys me a coat, and then my stepfather buys me like 7 pair of jeans, which I loved. I loved wearing. Like today, I mostly just wear jeans and sweats. And I remember that's all I wore. And I was happy with just wearing jeans and sweats. And I remember one girl teased me. She's like, I know what you're wearing tomorrow. She liked me. And she teased me because she liked me. She's like, you're going to wear jeans again. I'm like, so? I'm wearing jeans right now, and I'm happy about it. I still love wearing Levi's, but yeah, Mr. B's didn't have Levi's. They didn't have Levi's. The Descartian, ether, storm, universe, higher chakra, the 6th third eye, 7th crown, 8 higher and above, connection to higher self and source, the chondrion, expression, life, and consciousness. Very well said. Thank you, Jody. Yeah, I heard of sensory deprivation, tank somewhat inducing out of body traveling. You float with a tank and heated salt water. Oh, no, let me tell you, if you can do this, they have it here, and I got to go again. They got soundproof rooms here. Like when you have to see, like if you took these singing bowls I have in a soundproof room, oh, you talking about almost instantaneous hearing the sounds knocking you out of your body. But soundproof rooms, like my tuning forks, they really, in soundproof areas, they really are very effective, because in a soundproof room, every sound that you make inside that room, it's a lot more powerful. And that is, matter of fact, a lot of people would go crazy in a soundproof room, because the only thing you really hear is your breathing after a while, your heart beating and all that kind of stuff. It's hard for certain people to be where you don't hear anything. It's like this damn refrigerator's been running since I stopped, because I opened and got this beer. Since I started, I can sleep in jeans sometimes, and some people think I'm crazy for wearing jeans when I go to bed. It's like I'm the kind of cat where, now when I used to work grubby jobs, of course I would come home and take a shower and change clothes. But since I've been retired, I wear clothes until I go to bed. I've never been a cat. Like when I get up, I'll put on a robe or pajamas. But when I'm up, I'll wear clothes all day. It's like my ex is an accountant, and she would change into pajamas instantly. That was relaxing to her. But I'm like, well, okay, you put on pajamas and a robe, but I just, I don't mind wearing clothes till I go to bed. I like wearing clothes. So I don't know. That's kind of stupid saying. Yeah, I like wearing clothes. I can't get no man that being with no man that's being anti-woman. What's up with the brother on social media being anti-woman? Yeah, exactly. That's why I'll tell you what. And I don't know why Rambo is so limited, but that cat Rambo, he's one of the few cats that really talks about the divine feminine. And he talks about her like the relationship I have with it. And I hear very, very few people. So if that's that cat. There's 2 cats, and I get them mixed up. Which is RFG, and which is the other cat that used to be Brother Sanchez guy. I forget his name. But yeah, the divine feminine is something I don't attack, you know, and I see the whole story about looking at Sophia and the true thing of Sophia, but I can go way past Sophia. Again, when you get into Mu, um, and you get into the spider being like the first really kind of representation of Mu, uh, yeah, you get to respecting the divine feminine, and it is something I definitely touch with. Again, I've said before in my prayers I was all feminine energy, and I was like, hey, that's not balanced. I have to give thanks to the Source Father as well. So yeah, um, the quietest room in the world, you can hear your blood pumping and breathing. Yeah, Pac-Man. Rocky, thank you. 10 tanks in the shit. Team tanks in the shit. But yeah, you can be in that tank of water, in the salt water. And well, what it does is it gives you the floaty feeling. It gives you the floaty feeling, um, which you might not, the current of being in the water might help push you out where you normally couldn't do it. Like what I'm doing right now, I have one leg up. Again, I'm having ultrasound to find out why my left leg hurts in this spot. But it's like I have to do. You have to be comfortable. You know, it's silly to try to meditate and not being comfortable because you're kind of countering what you're doing. And so, whichever way, like if laying down is a way that you can meditate the best, it's okay. The only thing they say is with laying down, you don't want to fall asleep. You want to be in that in between state. Um, but there are times where I do meditate laying down. You know, I'll say that. So there's no one way to do it. You have to find the best way for you. You can't copy anybody else. You have to find your way of doing it. And it's again, you can't really read these far out things and these higher kind of people's practices is gauging your spirituality. You know, you can't compare yourself to anyone when it comes to your spiritual well-being. It's an individual thing. Even magic, you know, that's the problem is people they want to create $1 million when you can just create a little bit of magic every day that in the scheme of things it would be more beneficial to you. So yes, you can still get that room full of money, but it takes everyday magic to get that room full of money, your everyday practices. So it's like he said on what's it called, the Umbrella Academy. What did he tell Seven? He said, stop trying to go back too far. Use the seconds to go back. That might save you one day. And he had never thought about that because he was so rebellious. He just wanted to zip through time instead of saying, wait a minute, I don't have to just zip. I can boop, boop, boop and be successful. Them tanks, they're gone by themselves. A sex doll, put it under Christmas tree. You see that they're about to sell the robot dolls. I'm about to buy me a couple of them robot dolls. I've already ordered from Honda. You know, Honda's making them robots, and I'm gonna put some on the stroll. So if any of y'all want a robot doll, you can come see me, and I'll have the robot doll ready. She'll be able to talk to you and everything. You can go in there and pick what weave you want to put on her. What color, what everything. You know, you can go in the room and you'll see her and you'll be able to just put everything. You can even put your old girl's face on her for the price of $19.95. They're gonna start putting that shit in people's houses. Remember how they did in iRobot? You won the shit, like you won the lottery. You have to operate between the ethers, right in between the wake and the sleep realm. Yeah, there you go, Jody. You were drifting to one side. I was in one and left my eyes open. I couldn't tell if they were closed or not. Wow. If you think you're drifting to one side, yeah, okay, I get that. Check your cash app when you get a chance, hoping I send it to the right one. Oh, wow. Thank you. That's kind. Wow, thank you. Oh, there it is. Well, thank you. I think I did get it. Yes, I did. Thank you. Thank you so much. That is so kind of you. That is so kind. I appreciate it. Wow, that is so kind. Very kind of you. Thank you so much. Um, I want to get yeah. You can hear your blood pumping, man. Oh, it's yeah. You get in those soundproof rooms. It's deep, and I'm not talking about where a soundproof room to record. No, this is where people tune things. Uh, thank you, Brisk Clown. That is so kind of you. I appreciate that. I'm not saying be a simp, but don't be butt hurt. Every man been kicked in the, but don't act like that's funny, Lorenzo. The real stuff, nothing like a real woman. Yeah, I agree. How do you feel about psychedelics, the stronger side, like DMT and peyote? Shrooms seem to be the thing everybody's kind of going to now. They're accelerators. They're accelerators for sure. I grew up in the acid age, and then I grew up in what is Pfizer now. It used to be called Upjohns. For the people old enough to remember kaopectate, that was done by Upjohns, but Pfizer was once Upjohns. And I know them dudes working at Upjohns. Now Pfizer was the ones making acid in the town I was in. So it's not too much that I haven't been exposed to as far as that. Again, I told the last, I would never take it now, but the last acid experience I took was back in the 80s. Now, mushrooms, DMT, yeah. But I'm going to use a little bit of Bomber's work because he's right. Now, like we was just talking about leaving your body. So, okay, say you've been working, you've kind of cleared your first eye out. So you've cleared it out and you've just been doing astral work, and you don't feel yourself leaving your body. And he makes a good, and I bring this up because the point he makes goes with this. It's like you could take DMT, it might not necessarily give you the true movement that you would expect. Shrooms might not either. Now, I'm not saying it's not going to give you a certain state, but to push it far as it needed to be pushed, well, Bomber calls it being too heavy. I don't know. That's kind of harsh. But in some ways, that is a reality. It's like you're still spiritually too heavy. And that could be why you're not leaving, you're not having the out of body experiences. And so all I would say is, okay, so you've never left your body and you take the DMT, it is going to make you do something, but you've never experienced any of what might come. So it's like, okay, I'll put it like this. So say you playing the NBA game and you really ain't played the seasons, but you done jacked your person up. Well, if you ain't really played the seasons, he's not going to be that effective. And I know that wasn't a good one, but that's my point is if you haven't been putting the previous work in to jump to that, you might not get the true benefits from it. That's my point. It will do something to you, but to totally be ready for when it takes you off, you might miss it. That's my point. You might miss it. Yeah. I don't know how much more I can say than that, but you might miss it. So even with peyote, you'll have experiences. Okay, I'll put this is the best way to put it. So you haven't left your body yet. You take that stuff, like I was saying, you just being floaty, that's what it'll do to you. It'll make you even more floaty. Instead of you saying, yeah, I'm waiting for this shit kick in, this is what I got to go do. You'll get on its trip. So wherever the drug is going to take you, it's taking you. You're not. So my point is you are not working on your spiritual self because you're not prepared. You are riding the drug. Instead of saying, I got this jetpack or I got my bag. I'm putting the drug in my bag. Then let's go. This is what I need to do. That is the difference. So I would really try to leave your body naturally, or just smoking weed or something like that, or taking even mushrooms. I think mushrooms is a good way to get ready for DMT or peyote. I think that is the proper steps, instead of just trying to rush in, because again, you're going to be like you just hanging on to the jetpack. You ain't holding the jetpack like, yeah, okay, this is what I got to do. That's how spiritual awareness should be. You should have what you want to accomplish. You know, like someone asked me about putting in an altar. You should have a point of the altar, be it for you personally or be it ancestry. You should have a point for this. And that's the same way when you take those kind of things, there should be a point. What are you trying to spiritually accomplish with it? What boost do you need with it? And read as much as you read, and then when you find your point, like with me, no matter what substance I take, I am first going into my sacred ball field, and then I go to my terrace pyramid. I know I say it in the beginning, but I that's where my starting point is always going to be. And so I take those kind of substances. I still do what I do every day, but I start and I've got these booster rockets on. And so when I go to my pyramid and I step on the terrace, I've got booster rockets on. And that's how it should be. And you're like, okay, with these booster rockets, let's go. And that's how I would do it. You know, just jumping into something is you never know. You never know. And then this is the thing, is it's like, what if you meet something that's not agreeable? You take DMT and you come into something's not agreeable. And what if that's the first time you've ever ran into something that's not agreeable? Number one, you don't know how to make it more agreeable. You don't know how to make it work for you. And you don't know that you shouldn't show fear. Because again, it could just be and I hate to use this word, but it could just be a certain gatekeeper. And so without these kind of experiences, those things come up, you don't really have a bag. And that's the thing, is you want to have a spiritual bag so you can pull shit out. You know, that's good. Why? The relationships with the air, the water, earth, wind, fire, you know, all those things you want to be able to have in your bag as well. And the drug is another thing that you just want in your bag. So that's how I would practice it. Yeah, he said, read my soul. So I took shrooms, open up. How do you feel? Yeah, it opened you up. Yeah. Ashiana, or Akaya. Ooh, everyone has work in the morning. Peace, everyone has work in the morning. Yes, thank you, CJ. Santos Banki talks about ways to meditate to activate the DMT in your brain naturally. Yeah. I've checked him out. I like his work. I don't agree with everything, but I do like some of his work. I was on shrooms and kept my phone charger on 1% for 2 hours. That's funny. Outstanding by Gap Bands. All I wanted to hear, like they felt by grandfather. Great trip. I tried weed one time and I didn't like it. I think probably got too high because it took too much for me. Yeah. My son gets the same way. It affects him the same way, where he's really, my youngest son, he's not a weed smoker, because it being with me so long and being with all this power and magic in my place. He saw my generator moving. He was trying to get my attention. I was doing something, and I was like, I wasn't watching. He was seeing my generator actually move, and that's quite a perception, because the generator is always moving. Like crystals are always moving, but to see that perception of them moving takes an adept. So adept. So it's each personal experience, but that's what I would say. So don't be so quick to jump into one. I would say kind of take small leaps and bounds, because you can have negative experiences. And I don't mean tripping out. I don't mean that, but I'm just saying you could come up against something that's amplified and you ain't ready for that was amplified coming at you. You know, I mean, even knowing that, like, you're always in the center. Like when you leave your body, you're pretty much in the center of everything you're experiencing. There's no back. So I know I was telling a friend, like, if you dream you're in a building, all you got to do is get against the wall to give you a reassurance. Nothing will ever come behind you. You just get, like, if you see you're near a fence, because a lot of time that's how it'll present itself. It's like it's a fence behind you. Well, there's nothing going to be, that fence is right there. Nothing's going to come from behind that fence. So if you're in a building, just back up to the, if you kind of feel unsure, back up to a wall. It's like, it's everything. I know that doesn't make sense, but as living it, you're seeing all the way around. You really are. And even though your perception is you're behind it, you're really more in the middle of it, and you're seeing 360 all around you. So that's the good practice of even seeing the golden ratio, before you raise above it, and karma, because you kind of can raise above both at the same time. But seeing the golden ratio and how it moves and where you have to move is a good kind of pace. Because again, you don't want to be caught into the way it's moving. Things naturally move like that. So you don't really have to waste your time moving with it. But the thing you want to do is rise above it. So. Tell you what, it was the damnedest thing last night. This talk shoe was not working last night. And this is the funniest thing. I look at my colors. I'm a little more whited out in talk shoe. This camera seems to be doing better. The purple is more purple. Was it on the charger? There was no way you kept your phone on for 1% for 2 hours. What he said is he was shooting some energy to it. You watch Dynamo Jack's telling you that it's like he basically does chi. What's interesting, if you can catch the old show when they first put him on, he's like, the guy doesn't see him for months, and then the guy goes back and looks at and talks to Jack and say, "Hey, I've never heard from you." And Jack said, after I went, did a movie or got on film, he said one of my old masters came back and scalded me for showing this. So I thought that was interesting, because again, when you're dealing with that powerful energies and you have those kind of abilities and you make a mistake, whew, and when he talks about one of his masters, he's talking about a master to be like bloop right there in his face. What are you doing? I mean, it's that strong. When they come after you, it's like that strong. What are you doing? Why are you sharing this? And it's like you can do all these things on this plane, but then you come up against somebody who's been doing it for thousands of years, in the line of thousands of years, and they bloop back in and be like, they make you feel like this big, because they'll come in really big. Sometimes they make you feel like you that big. And you're like, I guess I ain't that strong. This shit is a lot more than what I am. I had some black liquid coming off my hands. I swear, family, read my soul. Hey, what's good, Ismail? Blackish brown. I saw the colors and everything, and I was drinking THC lemonade to down it. Woo. Yeah, you really were trying to take off. You're really trying to take off. I don't even know if I want to say this shit. Maybe I will. So I was talking about a little bit of shadow work yesterday, and it really me truly understanding the bad energy. And I've showed before how the sigil of Lucifer is really, you have to take the locks off the bottoms, and you really get to look to see the bat. But for a long time, the bat came in as a shadow being. And it was like I could see it. And so I really had to work with it first until I was able to see it in other forms. I was just talking about that. Again, when you look at all those sigils and the Goetias, you have to understand that all these were put locks on them by John Dee. This wasn't their work. This was work they copied in the Americas. And they took back to England, they put locks on it. Again, that's why they teach you. I've said this over and over again. That's why the way they teach you is you got to bind and bound them, because again, the way it was opened up for them to control that thing is why they had to do that. These energies were used to working for the people in the Americas, and then all of a sudden these energies are almost slaves or hidden. My brother opened up a channel a long time ago, and again, the being is like, how did you guys get here? Because when my brother opens channels, what he doesn't realize about me is he's telling me that I'm doing what he's telling me. As he's telling me over the phone, I'm listening. That's just the way I can do things. So I'm not just hearing it. As I'm hearing it, I'm actually living it. And it's like, man. And I was hearing what my brother was saying. It was like, Not one came, but you came too. How did you both come? How I mean, it's just it's deep, and you hear these elders and get the other part of the story, how they've been locked and how they've been made demonized when it was nothing like that. There were natural energies in America that helped us. Um, what was it called? Lost, the airplane show. Remember when the black hammer came out the ground and it would just slam people on the ground? I don't know if y'all remember that. I was impressed, but that was one of the American energies. It was clearly one of the old American energies that somebody done wrote about and probably had to bind and lock to see that it was a real thing. And so they were able to animate it. But that was some shit that when they first came here, I'm sure they experimented with that came against them. Because again, we see that some of the old world came together when they fought. Haiti fought. It was the only time that it did. But some of the old magic was unleashed against them, where they wouldn't even come back on land. They threatened them with ships, that they would just bombard them with ships, because they sure wasn't going back on land after the way they got killed. And you can find stories on them getting knives, butcher knives, swords, with no people behind them. Read up on that, and you can find that kind of where they were attacked like that. That's why they was like, yeah, we're not coming back on that land. And I know you can say, well, where was it all the time? See, what you have to understand is when they came into the Americas, they was used to locking and binding energies. They had done this all over Europe, all over Asia. They had done these before, where they were used to taking other people's goods, for a better word, and locking and binding them and using them as their own. So as they came here, once they of how these were used, after being here, they were able to lock and bind a lot of this. Again, by destroying the temples, building their churches over these power centers, they were able to lock and bind the Americans' energies. And not only lock and bind, they were able to use them as their own and hide the ones they didn't want to be used. Spookify them, as Bobby Hemmett would say. I tried. I was talking to my friend on the phone in my backyard, and I was like, 1% sun was hottest I ever felt. Wow. It's a black liquid coming off my hands for Ascension. I believe it ain't when setting up another trip soon. Been listening to Jimmy for the first time. Might be my soundtrack. That's the cool thing about listening to Jimi Hendrix. It can clear a lot of that off you, attachments and everything, but it can really open that first eye open. And like my story is, my cousin is Michael Narda Walden, and he had a song with Jeff Beck, and it was a song called "Delightful." It's my favorite song by my cousin. Now, I got a few different ones, but he had Jeff Beck on lead. Check this out. My cousin, one of his first albums, the song "Delightful" has Jeff Beck on guitar. My cousin invented a kick. Look up Michael Narda Walden. And he invented a kick that's drummers use today, but he has Jeff Beck on lead guitar. Remember, 1966, before Jimi Hendrix lands in Europe, Jeff Beck was the number one guitar guy. And then he has on background vocals Cissy Houston with the daughter there, and I think she does a little bit of vocals on it too. But she's watching for sure, which her daughter was named Whitney, if you remember. But Cissy Houston to sing with Elvis. And so if you hear them, they go, "Your love is delightful." She's singing along with him. But I mentioned Jeff Beck because without listening to Jeff Beck, I would have never been able to hear Jimi Hendrix. Never, never. Again, I got pinged by Jimi Hendrix the day he died by my father telling me that he died. My father got the newspaper and was like, "Damn, Jimi Hendrix died?" I got pinged. But the step was to hear Jeff Beck. I could really hear it, and then got into Jimmy a year or so later. So it clears a lot of that out. I really believe that. You listen to him playing the Star Spangled Banner or Machine Gun, or really 1983, A Merry Man I Can Be. But his double album is probably some of the best music ever produced, where he plays on a lot of it by himself, the bass and the lead. So it can open up some things, I think. Um, you blow my mind every day. Well, thank you, Ismail. Heart is broken. Why? Tell me some energy techniques that I can use to soothe this pain. Your heart is broken. Well, I would have to know a little more. That's kind of a vague kind of thing, but just to send oh, I don't have any here. Is it right there? Oh, I got this box here. I'll give you a little help. Where's it at? I guess I don't have it here. Where is it? Oh, right here. I can send you something. It's gonna take me a second to find it, so people don't get too bored with me. I don't know if it's a quick way. Oh, right here. Ah, okay. Well, things are working for us. So this isn't gonna completely mend it, but it's a start. And I don't know, I don't know if how everybody else's feels. But everybody, let's give all my business boxing, all about business boxing. Says they have a little heartbroken, and so I'm gonna send this rose quartz because it's a loving energy. Oh, gosh, I have that over there. But I'll send you this rose quartz and this rose heart, and this is a loving energy. And everybody that's watching, if you do have a little energy to share, you don't have to be evasive, but share it with all business boxing who has some ailment with their heart. And let's all put a group effort into sending them positive energy, sending them positive energy. And you can bounce it off of this heart here. So for those of you who want to participate, just put your intention into bouncing it off this heart until all business boxing. And you can send your intention that way. Just all you got to do is just bounce it off this heart to them. And we just all wish you that, this heaviness on you is lifted. And that's, I have the people watching. Just bounce it off and send it to them. And that's kind of all you got to really do. We don't have to be invasive. We just give this to them and it's free. So we give this to you freely. And I know that it doesn't appear like a strong gesture, but so it's all about intention. And as our intention is you to heal and you heal, we send you fast healing. So let's give this to, and then positive vibes, and we hope it works for you. So we hope it works for you. And that's what the community is for. It's like Awaken One and we were holding, and if anybody ever wants to get on this, I forget about mentioning it because I wait for her to get on, and we were supposed to do a show last week with her, and it's kind of we both get busy. But what we do is we do a manifesting thing. Usually, we had a group of 4 people, and we do a manifesting thing for each other during certain times. And so, say we manifest from 1 to 2, where we give about 15-minute blocks to each person, and we all group manifest. And I had to tell, I've got a friend, and she'll probably catch the replay of this. And I was telling her, a problem with me doing that kind of thing is I'm able to bring like everybody in the room together and like kind of have everybody sit while I'm sitting. Well, that's interfering. I didn't get permission to do that. And so I was asking her, I'm like, do people feel I, violated them? And that wasn't my intention. So sometimes even I have to pull back, because it's like my intention was right, but I didn't have the right to bring them all up with me. I really didn't have that right. So invasive is the word I was looking for. It was somewhat invasive. And so I kind of had to monitor myself because it really didn't require all that. You know, it's kind of a thing with permission. It was like I wrote a screenplay and I've written a couple, but I'm able to put people in the screenplay and really live it out to kind of watch how it goes. And I just noticed with Turtle Gang, he was the one character that kept glitching on me. And I talked to him about it. And he said he talked to the elders, and the elders was like, you didn't really give permission to involve him. That's why he was glitching. Where the other, like I talked to Hito Paul, and Hito Paul was like, shit, we was going after that shit. Let's go. He's like, anytime. But I understood. And so it was just like me understanding my boundaries too. That when you do that, and I can do that on a grand scale, but it's like you still got to have permission. You still can't get into people's space without people knowing. But if anybody ever wants that kind of thing, we can still do it. And again, if this is a way you want to practice your spirituality, this is another practice. That's an easy practice. That's an easy practice. You know, so I even had to rein myself in because, and we've had some benefits. You know, we've had some benefits. My friend I've talked about, she sent me to somebody at the Mall of America. She sent me to somebody, and I talked to her, and I'm like, you did that. I know you sent me. And she started laughing. She said, no, I just sent you high energy and high vibrations. I was like, no, you, because I was walking and I saw your face, and something said, look over there. And I know it was her. And she kind of laughed, and I know it's her. It was her. She sent me there, and she just really was just trying to send me love. That was all. But she sent me to a place, and I was like, that was deep. For a new friend, that was real deep. Yeah, we are sorry, but you know, it's, you know, one thing, never get on yourself. If you love, don't ever get down on yourself for loving. We are loving people. Now, the thing is things change all the time. People change for one reason or other, and sometimes there's a time period for love, you know, and sometimes those time periods go away, and it's, you know, you just kind of pick yourself up. But we send you energy. It ain't the greatest. I understand. What it was, Electric Ladyland, Jimi Hendrix Electric Ladyland. And if you can find one with the boobs, with the naked girls on the cover, that's worth money. But yeah, Electric Ladyland. Matter of fact, I had all Jimi Hendrix, even some bootleg stuff. I had all of it, and I since lost that about 20 years ago. Since lost it, but I'm gonna buy. I got this big JBL speaker. I'm gonna buy a bunch of them. Spend a couple $100s. I mean, they all got straps, but I'm gonna buy some more. I found a turntable that will connect to 8 different Bluetooth speakers. And so I'm going to buy, I'm going to buy 2 more speakers, one to always keep in my bathroom, one to keep out here, and one to keep in my bedroom. And so I can have the turntable music, because the music off the Diamond is a pure sound compared to we hearing the music off of the electronic, the me or the my kind of music. You know, you're losing purity. And as we talked last night, albums are making a big comeback because, again, it's about music purity. And when the me or the my plays it, we don't get it pure. There's a different thing when that crystal hits that vinyl. It is a different sound. Now, most people aren't even used to hearing pure music anymore. You're so used to hearing the me or the my music, the electronic only music. When in fact, the pure sound comes off the needle in the record. Put the needle on the record. Put the needle on the record. And that was on purpose. They don't want you to have that pure sound. Like you listen to Jimi Hendrix or you listen to John Coltrane. And it's like when they're playing them horns, you can almost hear them hitting the notes. Some of the music is so pure. And that's how music should be. You should get used to hearing pure music. It's like if you look at music as a fractal, you look at music as a fractal, and that's building your fractals up. So And one more example I'll give you. I talked about one time I hit my singing bowl, boom, and that shit pushed me right out of my body like in Doctor Strange. You know, and I might have said this last night. I laughed at myself. I'm looking at the hot dogs on the back of my neck. I'm like, damn, my son's right. I do got a lot of hot dogs on the back of my neck. And I'm sitting there laughing. So, oh, and you know what? I'll try to make a short video just by itself about leaving your body again. You know, just the thing on putting the person on top of your head and spinning. I'll try to make a short video about that, maybe tomorrow or the next day, just so people can, a short video every step, you know. Because doing that with a group thing is tricky too. It's like putting out a lot of magic just to try to show it. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Is tricky. It's tricky because it's like I'm putting out a lot of magic to get people to follow. And so it's not, I know not to lift people up because it's like almost I can feel everybody. And it's like I'll lift up and I'm kind of seeing if anybody else is lifting up. And I just so much want to like, shh, and that's evasive. That's evasive. It really is. I mean, unless everybody said, well, if we can't lift up, will you lift us up? That's different. But without that, and I'm like sitting in a room and I'm seeing all of you and I'm seeing you struggling, I just kind of like lift you up. That's evasive. So have to watch that kind of thing. Love is a gamble. I know it's very unfair of person. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it hurts for a while, but you got to move on. And you lost the money too, huh? You lost the game. Wow. Was bumping Hendrix throughout the barbecue today. I love Jimmy. Yeah, me too. Me too. I play Jimmy almost every day. Go listen to Love Music by Eminem and Kendrick. Just have it. Yeah. When you're all right, champ. Yeah, you'll be all right. I know I will. I just disappointed myself because I knew better. Yeah, I understand that feeling. Yep. All we can do is, we wish you the best. And one thing is right is time heals all wounds. And that's the thing. It's just like physical wounds. Time heals all wounds. So, yeah, and then I got a busy day tomorrow. Getting new insoles. Going to see my foot specialist, my podiatrist, and I'm gonna get new insoles. So I'm gonna see him for about it's like literally 40 miles away, if not. It's gonna take me a minute to get there. It's a good 45, 50 minute trip. It's like way in Maple Grove. So it's like going northwest. So I got to go way out there tomorrow or Tuesday. Then I got to turn around and leave there and go have, I'm getting ultrasound done on my thigh to find out why I can't sit like this without being in pain in my leg. And then I have something to do with my daughter later on. So I'm going to be hopping Tuesday. And then school starts here tomorrow. School starts full time. The high schoolers started last weekend, the younger grade. So all school starts. So everybody will be back in school here. So I think that's a beautiful thing. It will help the children. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to that. So, well, guys, I'm kind of running out of material. Facebook is Serious Love. Anybody add me? I need to talk. Facebook is Serious Love. Okay, I'll look for you on that too. But yeah, we and that's what the group should be about. That's why I share my knowing. It's not to show anybody how well I am, and I'm not definitely going to belittle anybody. I have just the best intentions for everybody. Really is, you know. Matter of fact, why isn't? There she is. This should be right. And it's just sharing, knowing, you know, and I'm thank you for letting me talk a little bit of spiritual stuff after we got the sports stuff out the way. But as the week comes by, everybody catch the deaths. We're going to see more deaths. This is the first day. In the last days, ain't nobody famous died, but we know they're going to be coming this week. So don't be surprised. There are going to be celebrity-related deaths leading up into the Super Bowl. The most I counted in the last few years was 17. The year the Eagles won was 21 deaths, with 2 deaths happening after the Super Bowl that evening. So that is how deep this thing goes. They killed The night the Eagles won, they killed a guy who was on a practice team or something that night, and they killed an NBA ex-player couple. They killed both the husband and the wife after the Super Bowl, the evening of the Super Bowl. So if you don't think that blood is real, celebrities just don't die and all of a sudden accelerated in 2 weeks. And part of I'm looking at Cicely Tyson as part of the decode, or Cloris Leachman. What is the decode in them? There's some kind of decoding when they take the blood too. But it doesn't surprise me so many. Again, I think we agreed that Shiva, the destroyer part of Shiva, is going to be feeding this Super Bowl. Pretty sure that's what we came upon. So the destroyer energy is going to be in this year's Super Bowl. So don't be surprised if we see more numbers. Don't be surprised if we see more numbers passing this week. So, but yeah, I'm gonna leave it there tonight, guys. I will be back on tomorrow. Yeah, because I ain't got to get up early when I do my thing Tuesday. It ain't an early day. It's a later in the day. So, yeah, and I'll take off Wednesday morning. So, yeah, that's my plan. But it'd be like, shit, they took you off. Why are you taking days off? They took you off. I know they took me off, and I was off about four days. But it's just that's the habit I'm going to do. I'm going to just take Wednesday mornings off. So I will be back tomorrow. And as you know, I always finish with Esham. So I'm not a New York rapper or a LA gang banger. I'm just an old school Detroit crack slinger. Well, this has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am your host. 8 Wind is timeless. I am also 8 Wind Eagle. I am also Time Lord. I am also the last of the Time Walkers. I am the holder of the continuous ball game of the Hero Twins. Till we meet again.